Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to our Journey Through the Real Book number 196, which is Journey to Recife. Beautiful bossa nova that's not necessarily on the top 10 of everybody's list of bossa novas, but it's right up there, and maybe it should be in the top 10. It's really beautiful. We're going to get to know it in a little more organic way or a holistic way than just, notes on the page and chords. And that's really what I'm trying to do with this whole series of jazz piano lessons as we go through the real book. It's to help us learn jazz standards in a way that's in the jazz tradition, right? And in this case, the Brazilian bossa nova tradition as well. So bossa nova is a type of music from Brazil, and it was created in the late 50s, and then there was a huge bossa nova craze, sort of centered or spearheaded by Antonio Carlos Jobim's Girl From Ipanema, right? Still a staple of sort of bossa nova and also in sort of light jazz type musical gigs to this day. If you watch the Olympics that were held in Brazil, in the opening ceremonies, they sang someone sang the Girl From Ipanema. It's still a huge song, represents sort of an image of Brazil and the beach and sort of being carefree, at least it's the image. And Journey to Recife was written by Richard Evans and Norman Gimbel in the early part of this bossa nova wave, or at least in the initial wave of bossa novas. And bossa nova, like anything else, we sort of have our way of playing it. Okay, let's go into this is Girl From Ipanema, and now here's Journey to Recife. Same rhythm, right? A lot of jazz musicians. But at the same time, there's more of a variety of beats. You could play a bossa nova just very gently and beautifully. Lounging back, relaxing, letting the sort of notes float over this gentle beat. And Jobim himself played them like that a lot. And also, Jobim and others, they would play it very lively. And Journey to Recife, if you listen to the original recording, is very much like that. It's more of this sort of lively bossa, sort of more of a connection with the older samba tradition of sort of carnival and everything, but a little gentler at the same time. Paul Winter, the saxophonist, recorded a wonderful version of this very early on, and he later became known for the Paul Winter Consort and sort of semi-new agey kind of earthy music, folk, melded new age, folk, jazz together, whatever you want to call it, in a really wonderful way. I saw him play in a farm once, back in a farm. And just very beautiful music, but he started out as a jazz musician. If we look at the form, it's a 16-measure form that repeats with a second ending. So in a way, it's, I don't know how you'd put it, it's really, it's almost the same 16 measures, just a very different last couple bars, last 3 bars here. But basically, it's the 1 chord, E flat, major 7, and then just a 2 and a 5. But then the second part starts on the 2 chord. That's interesting to start the second phrase on a dominant 7th on the 2. The original version of Gershwin's tune, But Not For Me, did the same thing before Miles Davis changed it. And then it goes to the third 4 measures starts on the 4 chord. And then a surprise, the last 4 measures starts on the 6 chord. So basically, the first phrase starts on 1, second one starts up a step on 2, third one starts up a little higher on 4, last one starts even higher on 6, a little softer sound. So it's kind of interesting to go through a tune and see structurally where each phrase starts with the harmonic progression. We can understand it a little better that way. So I'm going to start right in on the melody. One thing I like to do on my left hand sometimes is to play a voicing with 1 and then 5, and then if I can hit the 2 and 3, or a 9th and 2nd, or a 9th and 3rd, or however you want to look at it, with my left hand I'll do that. It's a nice way to get a nice open sound. I don't even necessarily need the 7th in my left hand. You know, that's a fallacy we hear in jazz, that we always need the 3rd and 7th in the left hand. Not true at all. I mean, in this case, the 7th's being played in the melody, but even if it wasn't, you don't need that. You don't need that. You hear Herbie Hancock playing stuff like that. It's basically a triad with a 2nd. It's also nice to establish the root in the bass on the first chord of a tune. Don't go right to rootless. We need to hear that tonic, a firm tonic there. So here we go. Beautiful song, and give it a try yourself. Oh, beautiful. And you know, these bossa nova is a wonderful combination of this beautiful rhythm with all these colorful harmonies. You get similar rhythms in some pop music, especially of that time, under the boardwalk, Spanish Harlem, things like that. But to have the ability to play stylistically, the ability to play 13s, you know, it was just gorgeous. You could go through the real book or get a book of Jobim or assorted bossa novas and just spend 3 months playing bossas. They're so wonderful. They were influenced by jazz, the chords. When I worked for Jerry Mulligan as his assistant in the late 80s, he was friends with Antonio Carlos Jobim. And I remember one time I got to Jerry's house in the morning and I was photocopying music or something, and Jerry was telling me what they talked about at dinner the night before. He went into New York. Jobim was visiting New York. They had dinner together. And Jerry said that Antonio Carlos Jobim told him that the original creators of Bossa Nova were influenced by people like Jerry Mulligan with the cool jazz sound of the 50s. And then that in turn, from Bossa Nova, influenced the American jazz that came afterwards. And we get tunes like Blue Bossa and then all different tunes, you know, even Chick Corea, Return to Forever, and Spain and all those things, all Latin music and Bossa Nova influenced. So there's this cross-fertilization between America and Brazil that Bossa Nova is right in the middle of. So check out the tune. It's wonderful. Have fun with it. Let this be a door to other Bossa Novas if it's your first one, or if you're expanding to new repertoire, enjoy this beautiful tune, Journey to Recife. I remember when I went online teaching on the internet in 2012, one of my first students signed up for my video course, and he sent me an email saying, I live in Recife, just like the tune. So I said, oh, I haven't played that in a while. Let me go back and play it. So thanks for being here. Good luck with your playing. If you're interested in Zoom or Skype lessons or my video course, I'd love to help you any way I can to become a fluent musician, so it just starts clicking for you and getting a little easier, and then we can take it even further. Enjoy the journey and let the music flow.